Hi everybody, welcome to Rise the Victor. This is episode 6, part 2, the survival guide. This is Lindsay speaking first this time. Hi Chris, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
We're here.
Probably mix it up a little bit. So, part 2 of survival guide.
What are you going to share with us today?
Well, it's a week on from the last one, and
how's your week been, Chris?
It's been quite eventful actually.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty busy, doing lots of different things. Certainly, things are escalating as we speak, and we talked about on the last episode about a thing called havening and self-havening. Self-havening is a technique where you apply touch to yourself on your arms, palms, and face, which allows you to change your emotional state very quickly within a matter of minutes.
Why is it the arms, palms and face?
Well, actually, you can apply touch in different parts of the body, but research with Dr. Ron Rudin was involved in creating a havening. They were measuring, I believe they were measuring the innate ability of a mother to comfort a child, comfort a baby. And how is it that you know, if you have children, how is it that when they're upset, they'll come and run to mummy or daddy, and then you'll comfort them, you'll stroke them, you'll cuddle them, you'll hug them, and then they start to feel safe. And, you know, havening techniques, which Dr. Ron Rudin created, was based on, I don't think it was his own study, it was someone else's study, but he was in the process of what he was doing, was looking at how our brains encode trauma, and looking at a better way of being able to make changes. So we have a traditional pharmaceutical route of using medication to make changes, and the pharmaceutical industry is doing very well, thank you very much, with all their antidepressants and all their drugs. But this is using the electrical system of our body to create brain frequency change in our brain to change our body and brain chemistry.
Because wasn't he in sort of researching the tapping side of things, TFT?
Yeah, he was introduced to tapping by Paul McKenna, and then from that he got interested in what was going on. Dr. Ron Reed is a general practitioner pharmacologist and an intern in New York, and he was really interested in the TFT, thought field therapy. And then from that he started to looking into what was going on with it, and then looked at further study and as to how things. So
it's almost
could
like
change.
This is the new kid on the block. You know, TFT's been around for a long, long time, and this is sort of the next level on, isn't it, I guess? Yeah,
but at the same time, it's that Ron Rudin didn't actually release it for 10 years because he was afraid of his peers really sort of dishing him, because it's something so deceptively simple.
Yeah.
And something which we do actually, and you certainly, when you understand it, you observe people doing it to their loved ones, to their children, and but a distinct aspect which Ron Rudin established is by being able to apply touch to the skin in different parts of the body, the face being the most powerful, then the arms and the palms, we're able to change the chemical structure of memories which hold a traumatizing moment in your life. So when we have a traumatizing experience, it's encoded differently in the brain. It's encoded in the amygdala, to the surface of the amygdala. So we're back to the amygdala again. So much is this about the amygdala. And effectively what we're able to do is change how a memory is encoded, so we're detached the emotional, physical response associated to that event or that situation. And I've used havening since 2012, I think. 2012. And the world's first training of it was 2013. Treated thousands of people with it. But one of the amazing aspects with havening is that you can apply havening to yourself, because it's a natural process we would do when we comfort someone.
And that's not necessarily just to say it's only for anybody who's got a trauma or going. It's self-havening. It's fantastic in terms of it just puts you in a calmer, more relaxed, safer place in your head. It can calm you down. It can, if you're somebody getting ready for exams, puts you in a nice calm place. Anxiety or panic attack, doing some self-havening totally downgrades all that fear, all that anxiety.
Absolutely.
And it's something that it's not a lot to remember what you have to do.
No.
Being able to just, it's a stroking movement across your arms or your palms or across the cheeks on your face in a particular way. And just give it a go now. Just put your hands across your shoulders, down to your elbows, stroking them.
If you're safe to do so.
Yeah, assuming you're not driving a vehicle, although not many of us will be driving right now. But it's so comforting. It just makes you feel safe.
And what's actually happening in the brain is that we stimulate receptors under the skin, which creates electrical signals into our brain, and that changes our brain frequency. And you're basically an electrochemical cell. And what it means is by changing the input frequency, you change your brain and body chemistry. So when we create these slow waveform delta waves, what we're doing is we're making the body, stimulating the body to create serotonin, oxytocin, GABA and calcineurin. Now serotonin is an essential neurotransmitter needed in your brain to function properly. And the vast majority of antidepressant drugs, SSRIs, are basically to stimulate the creation of more serotonin for your brain to function properly. Now, with using havening, you're able to change your levels of serotonin and oxytocin in minutes without the need of medication. Now, if you're in a heightened state of alertness or anxiety or fear, you'll have heightened levels of cortisol and adrenaline, and depending on how much adrenaline you have in your body, will create the physical sensations, racing heart, tight chest, jelly legs, depersonalised, and whatever level there may be. But effectively, by using this, we're able to desensitise the responses. If you think about two sides of a scales, like a kitchen scales, so on one side you have high levels of cortisol and adrenaline in a heightened state, and then the lower side you have serotonin, oxytocin. So as you apply touch to yourself, that scale tips the other way, and your cortisol and adrenaline levels go down, and your serotonin, oxytocin levels go up. So effectively, your amygdala can be like charged and firing off a whole range of signals for defensive response. And then as you apply touch, that the amygdala is basically shuts down. So you're going effectively, there, you're safe, you're okay. So by stroking your arm or your face or your cheek or your forehead, you're stimulating those electrical signals into your brain, creating delta waves, which is flooding your body and creating serotonin and oxytocin. And we also release GABA and calcineurin. It's calcineurin which is able to change the structure of memories which are triggering or have an encoding of a past learnt experience. Because your amygdala is effectively a pattern matching engine and looking for similarities of your environment to that of things you've learnt of the past. This is what we said on the previous episode is about loading the data bank of information, where if we withdraw from social media, looking at correct sources of news around the virus information, the coronavirus, so that you have less information for your brain to cross-examine to whatever perceived threat or danger is. Now the problem is with the amygdala is it doesn't know the difference between whether you're remembering something in the past, experiencing something real time now, or catastrophizing a future event. Now, depression is something about something which happened to you of the past. Anxiety is the fear of the future based on something of the past. Okay, so ultimately where we're at now is we have the big unknown. We have a big unknown of what's going on with the development of this pandemic, and we can be inadvertently creating disaster scenarios in our mind based on false evidence which has been presented to us by fake news, false information, and then as a consequence we can experience the physical emotional responses of anxiety. As we are in isolation, we're going to go through a whole range of emotions. So we're going to have, we're what are we into now?
Well, we've officially done 1 week of lockdown, I think, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yes, we're now in our second week.
In our second week. So the first week was adjustment, children coming off school and now homeschooling. So there's more of an escalation of pressure because you're getting into a new routine, but there's more stress. Now what people are doing looking to cope with the stress by different means. And there's your different coping mechanisms which you have. So coping mechanisms, at this point, can be increased consumption of alcohol, comfort eating. You can maybe finding yourself more on edge, more irritable, maybe going through emotions of anger, of boredom, of feeling trapped. And there's a whole process which we're going to be going through over the coming weeks. So our emotions are going to be tested in many different ways. So self-havening, it gives you the ability to maintain control and keep your responses to be in your control rather than your amygdala hijacking your thoughts.
Yeah, it's about making yourself more balanced, isn't it? And more able to get through each day.
And, we've been working at how we can help because there are so many different aspects of this situation, because there are obviously people who are in the front line in providing help and medical help or nurses and doctors. But even, just the people who are subjected in the supermarkets, the delivery people, they are at the front line, they're being exposed to this. And then we have people who have impacted by the loss of someone or someone who's ill or fearing being ill. And then we have all the financial, then we have so many different areas of stress which can come to us. But what self-havening allows us to do is desensitize any of those emotions, regardless of the circumstances of what your stress is coming from. So if I'm working with a client one-to-one, then I'm looking at where's your stress from work life, from home life, from relationships, from family, from siblings, from whatever aspects. There's multiple stresses on us, and we're able to collapse those very quickly using this technique. Now, of course, it's not going to be the same as having a treatment of havening from a certified practitioner, but what it does allow you to do, the self-havening, is just to keep yourself grounded and have more control.
Yeah, I mean, what you do in a clinic one-to-one is very, very different to just applying self-havening touch at home just by yourself, putting yourself in a good place.
Effectively, the process can be mastered really quickly, and on the website, which is in the show notes, Chris Meaden Online, there's a free self-havening course that you can register to, and that gives you more information about self-havening, and I will be dropping some videos in there. But we are doing separately to that a whole program for all these different elements, because when we come out the other side, there's going to be a lot of issues in many different areas, and it's about being able to collapse those very quickly. So, self-havening, something you can apply on a daily basis in the morning, set yourself up for the day, if you need to at any point during the day, and also in the evening, and you're changing your body chemistry,
brain chemistry,
and your brain chemistry naturally, and creating a more calm, relaxed state so that your amygdala isn't hijacking your thoughts with emotion or with fear, because we're going to get news about people about different things, and it's about you being able to have something which is quite frankly pretty straightforward. You just need to understand the principles, and those principles are explained on the free course. So
just head over and have a look, give it a go, and have a go at doing it yourself, and notice the difference it makes to you. And the more you do it, the better you'll be feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's any last thoughts?
Yeah, we're going to do a part 3.
I think we've easily got
because there's so much to talk about in terms of what's going on. So I think let's do a part 3 next week. Yeah. But do also drop us an email if there's anything you want us to discuss, any questions. Please do get in touch. Drop us an email. I'd love to hear from you.
And email address is? You don't remember, do you?
No, I don't.
podcast@chrismeaden.com.
That's the one.
And that'll be in the show notes as well, along with the link to the Chris Meaden Online. So,
that's my instruction, to write up the show notes. I know my place.
So, okay, so until next time.
On that note, stay well, everybody. Stay indoors.
Stay indoors.
Look after one another. Lots of love to you all.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.